Senator Hume.
Thank you, Deputy President. I rise this evening to offer my most sincere and heartfelt congratulations to those recipients of this year's Queen's Birthday Honours. Madam Deputy President, those recognised in these honours are Australians from all across our great nation who have selflessly dedicated their time in pursuit of a better Australia to be shared by all. Hailing from all walks of life, they are exemplary in their leadership, their commitment and their resolve, the three pillars of the Australian spirit. These Australians have taken to heart the words of the old proverb which exhorts us to be the change you want to see in the world. Madam Deputy President, as all the members of this chamber know, I am a patriot, a monarchist and an immensely proud Victorian. So, as is the case year in and year out, Victorians are very, very well represented in this round of Queen's Birthday Honours, and I wish to wholeheartedly congratulate all Victorian recipients for the recognition of their achievements. Each and every one is so richly deserved. But more specifically, I would like to single out my congratulations and thanks to the following Victorian recipients who have so significantly contributed and strengthened the fabric of our society through their service and dedication in their respective fields. Mr William Eldred Hennessy of Clifton Hill for being made a member of the General Division of the Order of Australia, AM, for significant service to music as a concert violinist, artistic director, mentor and educator. Ms Jane Ward-Smith of Black Hill for significant service to the broadcast media industry and particularly to film and television through administrative roles and to the community. Mr Christian John Zara of Trentham for significant service to rural and regional development, to the advancement of Indigenous welfare and to the Parliament of Australia. To the recipients of the Order of Australia Medal, OAM, in the General Division, my sincere congratulations go to two very special people and good friends of mine, Mr Michael Alexander Pointer of Box Hill North, for his selfless service to the beef livestock industry through a range of roles. Congratulations, Michael. And also to Mr Ian Robert Mentz of Brighton for his unwavering dedication to the community of Brighton. Congratulations, Ian. Mrs Olive Patricia Bice of Maiden Gully for dedicated service to the performing arts, particularly through country music. Miss Margaret Ann Brickell from Wangaratta for selfless service to the performing arts and to the community of Wangaratta. Mr Patrick Thomas Kahir of Preston for diligent service to the community through a range of organisations. Mr Brendan John Collins from Lavina for industrious service to the building and construction industry. Ms Patricia Betty Cook of Clunes for tireless service to the community of Clunes. Ms Yvonne June DeCara from Buninyong for noble service to the multicultural community of Ballarat. Mrs Margaret Kathleen Keach of Strathspilsay for assiduous service to the community of Bendigo. Mr Ian Douglas Laurie from the Melton area for admirable service to veterans and their families. Ms Helen June Huilia of Mount Beauty for enthusiastic service to cross-country skiing and to the community. Dr Angus Ormond McKinnon from Euroa for meticulous service to veterinary science and particularly to equine production. Mr Ian James McPherson of Eddington for patient service to youth and to golf. Have to be very patient for golf, Mr McPherson. Mr Kenneth Sidney Misson, late of Eynesbury, for dutiful service to the community through a range of roles. Mr Donald Ivan Moss from Ballarat for hard-working service to medicine and particularly urology. Ms Carol Lily Muir of Hoppers Crossing for determined service to social welfare through advocacy roles. Ms Melita Marie Parker from Flora Hill for compassionate service to people with a disability through advocacy roles. Dr Graham Alfred Pollock of West Meadows for devoted service to medical research and particularly through corneal transplantation. Dr Rita Katharina Seethala from Taggart for her service to steel band music and also to the community. Mr John Moore Sharwood of Alexandra for untiring service to the community through a range of roles. Mr Francis Patrick Sheehan from Invermay Park for persistent service to the community of Ballarat. Mr Neville John Stilto of Coburg North for active service to athletics. Mr Gary Clifford Taylor from Lake Wendouree for altruistic service to secondary education and to the community. Mr Deepak Vinayak of Craigieburn for uniting service to the multicultural community of Victoria. And Mrs Rhonda Beckley Walker from Kyneton for generous service to the community and particularly to women. Mr Rodney Stephen Wangman of Barranduda for service to local government and to the community of Albury-Wodonga. Mr Mark Anthony Young from Niddrie for community-minded service to social welfare programs and to youth at risk. Now, there's another great Victorian that I'd like to take a moment to congratulate, Mr Tom O'Toole. Tom was awarded the Order of Australia Medal in recognition of his years of service both to the bakery business and the community of Beechworth. The Beechworth Bakery is an iconic business and it employs over 250 workers and has sister bakeries across Victoria. I had the pleasure of visiting the Beechworth Bakery just a few weeks ago and got a tour of the back kitchens. It was absolutely fascinating. Mr O'Toole is a wonderful example of where hard work, innovation and community-mindedness meet, and he makes a mean beasting as well. I wholeheartedly congratulate those who have, all of those who have been awarded medals for their outstanding service and for their outstanding and selfless public service. And while there are too many of them to name individually, I would like to make a very special mention of just a couple. Dr Janice Louise Cocking of North Fitzroy for her outstanding service to defence, science and technology. Mr Ronald Neil Beer from Yea, who has provided 40 years of selfless and exceptional service to the Country Fire Authority, the CFA, in Victoria. Ms Bridget Ruth Ryan of Smithsdale has also served with distinction during her 35 years of active service, both in the Forest Firefighting Service and the CFA in Victoria. And finally, Madam Deputy President, I would also like, Acting Deputy President, I would also like to extend my warmest personal congratulations to two very special people. They are both friends and they're mentors. They are doyens of the Liberal Party and titans of business, and both of whom I work alongside as members of the board of the Menzies Research Centre. So firstly, I congratulate Mr Paul Espy of Darling Point for being made an Officer AO of the General Division of the Order of Australia for distinguished service to the mining and infrastructure sectors through financial advisory roles, to public policy development and reform, and to not-for-profit organisations. Congratulations, Paul. And secondly, I would like to congratulate Ms Danielle Blaine, whose service has been duly recognised in this year's Queen Birthday Honours through her appointment as a member of the Order of Australia AM for significant service to business and commerce, to politics in Western Australia and to women. Danielle, as Federal Vice President of the Australian Liberal Party of Australia between 2009 and 2013, has been a truly tireless supporter, particularly of women in the Liberal Party, and I thank her very much for her friendship and mentorship. Madam Acting Deputy President, I would also like to take this opportunity to congratulate and pay my respects to all of the members of the Australian Defence Force, both here and on deployment overseas. All of the members of the ADF serve as role models for the rest of our country with their unrivalled selfishness, their teamwork and their bravery. It is wonderful that our great nation does not take for granted the hard work, the dedication and the sacrifice of these great men and women. Madam Acting Deputy President, this evening I would particularly like to congratulate those most recent recipients of military crosses, medals and commendations, many of whom, of course, cannot be publicly named due to their ongoing operational commitments. Acting Deputy President, there are two very special times of the year in which the government and the community can express our sincere gratitude to those exemplary citizens who represent the very best of the Australian spirit. It is an extraordinary honour to be able to stand in this place this evening and to name and honour those dedicated and conscientious Victorians and Australians. I thank the Chamber for its time.